What's up everyone, my name is JuniorAlexanderLeiva, aka Mr. Awesome, and The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword was announced to the public as an HD remake for the Nintendo Switch. And I am personally so hyped for this game, hyped enough to the fact that I made the Road to Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD, where I, Mr. Awesome, will be driving this hype choo-choo train all the way up to the release of Zelda Skyward Sword HD. While everyone had a hate for this game, I disagreed. This is one of the games that I enjoyed a lot out of the Zelda series. In fact, and I've said this before in the previous videos, this is my favorite Zelda game, okay? So if it bothers you, I'm sorry. It is what it is. So with an HD version coming up, there's guaranteed to be new features, items, allies, and enemies to be added, and overall improvements and adjustments. We'll be going over the possible additions to the game as well as some things that are already confirmed to be added to this game. So make sure to give this video a like. Let's hit 100 likes for this video. If you like some of the things I mentioned, please make sure to subscribe to this channel for more Skyward Sword content that I have planned for the future. Seriously, I've made a couple videos already before and we still got a couple more to go because this is a 2-week celebration of Zelda goodness. With that out the way, let's get this video started. A new addition that I want to mention right off the rip is the motion controls. Motion controls won't be strictly enforced for this Switch port of Skyward Sword HD because you can do sword swings with the control stick. That's already confirmed by Nintendo. It was already confirmed from the very beginning that precise motion controls will be dumbed down for handheld mode, or if you want to play with a pro controller. My only hope is that they can add this to the docked mode, or at least give us the option to change to one or the other. Why? Well, simply because I don't have a problem with the motion controls. You know, I love swinging my, I guess, Joy-Con at this point as a sword because I find it very immersive. But there's people that played with no motion controls whatsoever. Some people have actually stopped playing Skyward Sword just because of the motion controls. So the motion controls back in the Wii era weren't really as good as they are now. They were really good because it came out with the Wii Remote with Wii Motion Plus inside, but it isn't as good as to say motion controls now in 2021. A lot of people consider Skyward Sword's biggest issue with the game being the motion controls, and saying the fact that this is now relegated to the right analog stick is just perfect. It's something that I'm happy Nintendo recognized as an issue. And hey, it's a good thing, you know? I know we're talking about adding things to the game, but this is something that I believe they should remove from the game as well. And honestly, by removing this, players will enjoy the game a lot more. We can all agree that Fi, whatever the case may be, is one of the most time-wasting and annoying characters in the entire Zelda series. Zelda has a tendency to include traveling companions that can be quite annoying. And I get that, that's already a trope, you know, what it is, but Fi is a different breed of annoying. You know how the community will talk about how annoying Navi is with going, hey, listen. Well, imagine that, but at the same time, you're required to stop and listen to what this Fi creature has to say. Fi Fofum over here will randomly stop you from your adventure to pop out of your sword and talk to you like your little baby that needs your hand being held as you adventure out into this grand new world of Skyward Sword. It would be really nice if they added a feature that allows you to silence Fi during moments where she's really not needed. I don't need you to tell me that Fi will come out and tell me that my battery needs to be charged. I will charge my batteries when the controller dies, okay? Then I'll stop playing the game. Other than that, don't come out. I know my batteries are dying, okay? There's an icon up there for that. Fi desperately wants to get involved in whatever the case is, and it just takes away from the experience, honestly. An added setting to silence her from this nonsense she got going on would be really appreciated. Because God, it's annoying. Nintendo, thank you in advance if you add this, but let's definitely move on. Now, in terms of adding stuff, one thing that should definitely be added to the game are Amiibos. And it already is, but it's only one so far. The first Skyward Sword was during the Wii times, so Amiibos weren't really a thing. They started over in 2014, which was 3 years after Skyward Sword came out. But I hope Nintendo this time around does more unique things with each Amiibo, just like in Breath of the Wild where you got rupees or clothes and stuff like that. We collect things, Nintendo, and some of us are die-hard Amiibo collectors. Give us all the reason to collect more by adding better things like unique armor or tunics for Link to put on just for aesthetic reasons. It would be so dope to put on a Zelda Amiibo and boom, you're playing a Zelda. That's a stretch. Okay, that's a stretch, but that was just an idea I wanted to throw out there. They had the whole Zelda and Loftwing amiibo where it's just, I hate it because it's a quality of life feature that is tagged onto an amiibo, but I kind of hope we get more amiibo support with previous Zelda games. Wouldn't it be cool if you just scan like a Ocarina Link amiibo and you get like Ocarina sound effects? Something, you know, small things like that add a lot of charm to a game. Twilight Princess HD added new collectibles to find throughout the game like stamps. While I don't mind collecting stamps, it would be nice to collect something else that goes more in depth with the story or can give you an amazing dungeon to venture off to. To give you an example of this, what I mean is that we all know Skyward Sword is the first Zelda in the Zelda timeline, so what if I added collectibles in the game called Remnants of the Future? That sounds really cool if you ask me. These could be items that are iconic to the other Zelda games like an ocarina, a Wind Waker wand, or a mask. Collecting all these items could open up a path for a super boss that is extremely difficult to beat. I don't know, man, it just seems like this could be popped in easily, and the only difficult thing would be creating the boss and boss room. From a developer standpoint, of course. Something small could lead to something huge for us fans to enjoy, and it'd be something cool just to be like, yo, Skyward Sword HD added an Ocarina of Time boss, and that's pretty dope. It play this version instead of the Wii version instead. Honestly, I just want the $60 price tag to be justified. I'm gonna buy the game regardless, I just want that to be justified. Finally, the last thing I want added in this game is more things to do while in the sky. Flying through the sky is cool, and it's kind of cool to play around, but the only problem is that once you know the controls, that's about it. It's a big open sky with not much to do. There's a few floating islands here and there, and you can go to them and do a couple things, but that's not really immersive or impressive, to be honest with you. Imagine people randomly flying by you and intimidating you to race them. That'd be kind of cool, because it'd be like, oh, you trying to race for some rupees? Bet. I'm gonna race you for some rupees. You know, in the beginning of the game, you could do a race. Why not make racing a common thing to do in the sky? Take a page out of Mario Odyssey where you race the Koopas. That would be pretty dope for Skyward Sword, honestly. Or how about sky bosses that have random encounters? It'd be pretty annoying, but at least if you're flying around in the sky, it would make the open world seem pretty not so empty. Skyloft is pretty much the sea in Wind Waker, but at least in Wind Waker, it had much more to do in an empty world, just like finding treasure and random islands that have entire dungeons in them. It gave you some incentive. I know Skyward Sword isn't centered about being in the sky, but the sky is literally in the name of the game, so just add a little pizzazz to it or something, you know, just a little bit more to do. You spend a lot of the time on the ground, but the game isn't called Ground Wars Sword. No, the game is called Skyward Sword. So here's to hoping that they add more things to do, and hopefully they let us venture out in the sky. Just some of the ideas we had here over at Zone 25 Studios. As always, thanks for watching. If you guys are huge Zelda fans, make sure to subscribe and turn on those notifications for future Zelda videos. Shout outs to the Mr. members for supporting the channel monthly. You guys put that pizza on my pepperoni, and I'm very thankful for it. Shout outs to the people that bought the Mr. Awesome merch. You guys represent the Mr. Awesome channel outside in the real world, and I love you for it. If you guys buy Mr. Awesome merch, please take a picture and send it on Twitter. That way I can shout you out and stuff. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay golden. Hey, thanks for making it to the very end of the video. Let me ask you, what's your favorite fast food restaurant? Mine's is Wendy's. What about you?